The chances of release today are slim to none.
They put me back in that dungeon to starve. I hope you will all do your very best to get me out, because I'm in a very
Andrew, love you.
The last thing Andrew Tate said to Elon Musk is doing the rounds again, because Elon has come out and backed him after this latest arrest. It starts with Tate somehow getting tweets out from behind bars, apparently through a teammate handling the account for him. His line was that the UK can try whatever it wants, but it can't stop him from tweeting. Then he went further, arguing that if he were genuinely a sexual predator in the mold of grooming gang cases, Prince Andrew, certain BBC presenters, or Epstein's close friend Lord Mandelson, British police wouldn't be chasing him across the planet, they'd be shielding him instead. Guys, the context here matters because this round brings the familiar allegations of rape, human trafficking, and sexual exploitation, plus additional counts relating to images of children. And Elon actually weighed in. Somebody replied under Tate's post saying this was his strongest argument yet, the one about British police protecting presenters Prince Andrew and Epstein's circle. Elon responded that he agreed with it. Tate's wider claim is that the UK government now protects its own, that people with institutional connections get treated one way while he gets treated another. Sneeko, meanwhile, has gone completely off on Elon over it, arguing Elon should be calling for Tate's deportation instead. And the UK is currently pushing to have him extradited.
Netanyahu's admission, wouldn't Elon Musk be calling for Tate's deportation too? Why hasn't Elon Musk called for Andrew Tate's deportation? Apparently he's Muslim, he's an American citizen. Elon Musk wants to deport me for what? Because I said, inshallah, people become Muslim? Tate has apparently charges of having indecent images of a child. No one calls for his deportation from the right wing. Want to know why? Because oh, he's one of us, he's right wing. You stupid white nationalists. He literally moved to Romania to commit crimes and get away with it, allegedly. He moved to a white European country to go and pimp out white women, to get white guys and Indians to jerk off to them because they make the best prostitutes for their camgirl website. You think he's one of you? He took advantage of your women, contributed directly to the decline of your birth rate, and you still chimp out for him because he says some very obvious rhetoric that makes you think he's based. Well, because he said women suck. This is the current state of American right wing. They claim to be conservative. They claim to want American values, and they called to deport me because of free speech. I have a real American values. I'm the one who actually believes in the founding fathers. I believe in the Constitution. We should have free speech. We should question authority. All you frauds in the right wing who are chipping out about censorship, you all want me deported from my own country because words hurt your feelings?
Everyone knows Elon's opinion of the UK isn't exactly warm at the moment. He went on Joe Rogan and made clear how uncomfortable he is with people over there being jailed over posts. He also happens to own X.
Then they have a prison overcrowding situation in the UK, so that quite literally releasing convicted pedophiles and putting people in jail for Facebook posts. That's an actual thing happening in Britain.
That is so wild.
You're like,
it's so wild that people can't see it.
What the fuck, is going on?
And what's insane to me
Make
is
oil fiction again.
Yeah.
But it's all being encouraged by the left. People have actually been locked up over both Facebook posts and tweets, and it's worth noticing that Elon only mentioned Facebook posts during that podcast conversation, protecting his own platform's brand essentially, since X carries exactly the same problem. He's had his own friction with Trump, but nobody disputes the man holds enormous power. He's a trillionaire, the wealthiest person alive, and people have tried playing games with him before, floating the idea of dragging him through the UK justice system, except he operates on a completely different level to that. When they tried it, guys, he flipped the whole thing straight back around, telling them they'd be the ones coming over to face justice themselves.
We need to also assert who we are as a country, because Musk, again, has been interfering in our politics in the last few days, trying to whip up division. That is not who we are in Britain.
We know the UK Parliament wanted to speak to Elon Musk about the role that Twitter or X played in the horrible race riots over the summer. Musk, here's a point for you, Andrew. Musk said, "How dare you? We're going to call you to the US Congress." And the very next day, Senator Mike Lee, a senior Republican senator from Utah, said, "I'm going to call British MPs to testify in front of me if they go after Musk." He's basically got the American government, or at least the Republican part of it, dancing to his...
That's the reality of Elon's influence. Despite well-known politicians and former prime ministers publicly talking about wanting him questioned or facing justice, absolutely nothing has come of it.
I was the only prime minister who allowed fracking. Sadly, I wasn't in office long enough to actually make it happen. We want Elon and his nerd army of muskrats examining the British deep state.
Well, I think there were other things that United the Kingdom marks that made that more controversial. Well, like Elon Musk calling for the violent overthrow of our government.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't agree with any violence.
I mean, that's bad, right? I mean,
yeah, definitely bad. I don't agree. Maybe might have missed that, but I don't agree with any violence.
Well, he's saying that we need to overthrow our government, and the only way we can do that, by definition, is violent.
Naughty Elon. He shouldn't have said that. I don't.
It's a bit more than naughty, isn't it? Because he's so influential. It's a bit more than.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I'm not an Elonist team.
Elon's a busy man, but across a handful of tweets, he's shown support for Tate, and Tate has returned it. At one point, Elon was catching backlash over becoming a trillionaire, with people pointing at the wealth gap, and Tate went on a rant of his own defending him. Right now, Tate could genuinely use backing from any powerful person given the situation he's sitting in, but is any of it actually going to materialize? Back when major companies were turning their backs on Elon, suspending their advertising spend on X over all the controversy attached to the platform, Tate publicly offered to hand over $1 million every single month to help.
Anyone who's complaining about Elon's pay package is a moron, because they're sitting there crying their eyes out that he's getting paid $1 trillion, which is truly remarkable, not understanding that the amount he is getting paid is directly correlated to the value he has added to the world. He is literally populating other planets, putting rockets in space. He's the only reason China doesn't have a complete monopoly over electric vehicles. He's building tunnels under cities. You could not do any of these things. You could not even begin to attempt any of these things. Gee, you good? The fact that he is doing them is truly remarkable. He deserves his money. The people crying their eyes out saying, $1 trillion, do you have any idea how many people that could feed on food stamps? People on food stamps don't add value to anything. People on food stamps are takers. He is a maker. The fact that you cannot connect the amount he's getting paid to the amount of value he has added to the world shows you are one of life's losers. When you tell me Elon's getting $1 trillion, I don't sit and say, oh my God, that could feed a whole bunch of people who don't work. Or, oh my God, that's so much money, we could use it for something else. I think, wow, he's done some amazing things to earn that money. That is the difference between a winner and a loser. Winners see big paychecks and say, wow, they've done amazing things. Losers are jealous, and they're bitter, and they're resentful, and they want to take it off of him and pretend he doesn't deserve it for some reason, even though he clearly does. Congratulations to Elon. And this $1 trillion pay package is just the beginning. He's going to get more and more. How are you not going to end up with $1 trillion paydays when you own fucking Mars? So the future belongs to the creators. The future belongs to the makers. Money is unlimited. If you work your ass off, if you add value to the world, money will flow to you. And if you sit there and cry your eyes out that the winners are getting paid and all the money should be taken off of them and given to people who don't do any work at all, you are.
Honestly, I think Elon already has enough problems in the UK, and beyond Nigel Farage, who apparently claimed Elon tried buying him off at one point, I don't see the connections there to actually influence these decisions. So either way, Tate ends up in the UK eventually, guys. The only real question is how soon that happens. But that Farage story, where Elon allegedly tried to swing him with free money, is worth hearing.
Nobody can buy me. Nobody can bully me. Nobody can tell me what to say. You want some evidence of that? Elon Musk. All right, Elon Musk, who was holding out offers potentially of very large sums of money, not for me, but for the party. But he asked me to do a series of things and say a series of things.
What happened with Elon, by the way? Why did you fall out?
Because he wanted me to come out publicly and support Tommy Robinson. And I said, I can't do that. I said, he wanted me to come out and talk about deportations of illegals before we had a plan.
It's genuinely interesting watching how this plays out. Elon supports Tate and clearly has zero faith in the UK justice system, which makes him exactly the sort of person who'd back him through this. The problem is his political standing in America, specifically that alliance with Trump, has cooled off significantly since Trump actually got into office. So I'm genuinely unsure what moves or plays he could realistically make on Tate's behalf here. That said, if it weren't for Elon in the first place, Tate would have faded into total irrelevance a long time ago, because Elon built the free speech platform that brought people like Tate and Tommy Robinson back into the conversation at all. He handed them an audience of millions.
You were banned on all platforms, but recently you got unbanned on Twitter.
Yeah.
Was that because of Elon Musk?
It looks like it. The big G, big E.
Are you guys friends?
I guess so. He must like me. Hey, Elon. Hey, go to the moon.
Have you ever spoke with Elon Musk?
Not yet.
Okay.
Would you like to?
Sure. I mean, I know that in the timeline on my trajectory, with my time on the planet, the chance of me speaking to Elon is 100%.
He's also joined X Spaces alongside Tate, sitting there agreeing with plenty of what Tate says while he's on a roll. And remember, this is the richest man on the planet doing that.
I would like to say, my final point, I would like to say, I often get asked by people who follow me, they say, who do you think who controls the world? Who do you think the Matrix is? And I use the Matrix as a very simple way to explain that they purport a false version of reality that everyone buys into to keep your mind occupied so they can extract your body heat from you for the soulless machines, which are essentially the globalists we're talking about. And I try and say that I still believe that we run the world. There's a lot more of us than them. We still control the world. It's just down to what we will accept and what will allow them to do to us. And that's why bravery is so essential and so important. And I know I can come across as brash.
If Tate is guilty of what he's charged with in the UK, he deserves a long stretch inside. But separately from that, guys, he's shed an enormous number of supporters by flip-flopping on his positions and by not treating his own religion with the respect people expected. He lost the brotherhood he'd built with Muslim followers over that. Add in the crypto scams, maybe he needs the money for legal bills, who knows, and he's burned through a lot of goodwill. With more old clips and past behavior resurfacing constantly, plenty of people have genuinely changed their minds about him.
Come across as brash with my message. But
you're not. You need to stop
telling
giving up
16-year-olds, when I'm telling 16-year-olds to go and get rich and buy a fast car and train hard and go to the gym, etc., because these young men are far less likely to blindly comply, and it's extremely important that they don't psyop the next generation of young masculine youth.
And that's why the system was scared of you, Andrew, because you were doing an extreme version of it to shock them out of it, to show them how to have a destiny, how to have desire, how to want to be into the future. And then that's the same thing in a different way.
You're right. We still control the world, and it's down to what we will accept, and it's going to take bravery and love. You need to love the people around you and love the human race and love the place you're from. And I just want to wrap up by saying that I would never kill myself. And if they put me back in that dungeon to starve, I hope you will all do your very best to get me out, because I'm in a very...
We will, Andrew. Love you.
Elon was in that live too. They said they would, and predictably nothing happened. Tate is sitting in an American prison right now, waiting to find out what comes next. There's another layer as well, guys. People are describing Tate as an ally of both Trump and Elon, pointing to the multiple occasions Elon has tweeted support for him directly. And with the government now trying to lock him up, Tate's been talking about moving into UK politics himself. He said things like this.
We're going to launch officially the BRUV political party, Britain restoring underlying values, and I will be aiming to be Prime Minister to fix the mess. And I want to make something clear. I am being absolutely serious. For everybody who is mocking this attempt for me to become the Prime Minister, please understand, I'm a wealthy person with 50 years of life left. The chance of me being Prime Minister, considering I was the most Googled man alive, is actually very high. This is not a game. And if you think back to the legacy of Andrew Tate since when you first heard of me, I want you to actually ask yourself a question. Have I ever lost?
Now, it might look like he was joking around there, and the BRUV party genuinely does sound ridiculous. That's proper UK chav slang right there. But I do think Tate spent this entire last year right in the middle of the legal mess, working as hard as he possibly could to build up as many political connections as he could manage. That's exactly why the American arrest blindsided him the way it did. He'd been going around meeting certain people, working those rooms, fully assuming they'd come to his aid and protect him when it mattered. And this time round, literally nobody has. Here's the thing though, guys. If you're accused of a crime, it comes for you at some point, regardless. Even Trump has been through court on numerous occasions himself. You still have to answer it and prove your innocence. And this is what Tate's lawyer, the one currently fighting to block the extradition to the UK, had to say about the whole situation in another interview.
We, of course, are going to fight extradition, so the court will set a hearing during which we will argue the merits of our position. We'll be looking at the fourth prong of the test, which is the probable cause prong. We believe that we have strong grounds, and we will make that argument to the court at the appropriate time. I don't see any set of circumstances where the judge will want to do that today. If our clients happen to get released today, then God bless America, but I think that the chances of release today are slim to none, and that does not have anything to do with the merits of the case. That is just what happens typically in these situations. The court needs time to adjust and understand what's going on. We're going to need to examine the paperwork that comes over from the United Kingdom. We'll make our arguments in a few weeks, and then we'll let the chips fall where they may. We think these charges are salacious and defamatory charges. Andrew and Tristan Tate have been accused of the most heinous acts that two men could be accused of for the past several years, but in multiple courts of competent jurisdictions across the world. In the United States, Romania, they have consistently been found innocent.
Part of why people are mocking Tate so hard this time is the begging. And I mean actual begging. 5-10 videos over recent months about being extradited to the UK, saying, "Come and get me. I want you to. I've done nothing wrong." And now he's fighting as hard as he can to stay in the US instead. He's coming over here eventually, regardless of any of it, and he isn't getting the identities of the victims either, so nothing about that part changes. This case catches up with him at some point, though his team will try their hardest to push the argument that the Romanian proceedings are still ongoing and that he shouldn't be extradited right now.
England, a failing nation, has its members of parliament talking about how important it is they extradite me from Hong Kong. They need to extradite me because 15 years ago, supposedly I hit some girl. They found some girl from 15 years ago on a council estate saying I hit her. I'm sure she doesn't do cocaine every weekend. This very credible victim. Absolute clown show, complete garbage, complete joke. They do this everywhere I go. When I went to the Bahamas, they talked about extraditing me. When I was in Dubai, they talked about it. When I was in Turkey, they talked about it. Now I'm in Hong Kong. It's all over the media. They're saying extradite me. Why do I never get extradited? Here I am. I'm in Hong Kong. I'm going nowhere. Come get me. We all know your judicial system's corrupt. People are awake now. After COVID, after the migrant votes, after the false elections, everybody knows that you're trying to stitch me up for telling the truth. Everybody knows I affect elections. But why do I never actually get extradited? It's because you have so little evidence. Florida tried it. DeSantis and his little girlfriend, they tried an investigation. Everyone investigates me and is bitterly disappointed. I don't do drugs like every other person on Twitter. I'm not fucking loads of endless girls like everyone else in the world. I don't go to sex parties like all you fucking weirdos. I have no homosexual skeletons in my closet. You've investigated me for 5 years, every jurisdiction, everyone, head to toe, nothing to find. All you can do is put in the news over and over again in the media, we need to extradite Andrew Tate. MPs saying, we need to get Andrew Tate. As if you don't have a failing country with knife crime, drugs, migrants. I'm your concern? I'm not even fucking there, bruv. I'm in Hong Kong, and you know I'm here. So come get...
America has actually come and got him this time. But Tate knows he isn't boarding a plane with officers and casually walking into a British courtroom. That's not the sequence. What actually happens is extradition, then straight into a high-security prison while they prepare for trial. That could easily be a year. It could stretch out to 2, depending entirely on how they decide to play the whole thing. Delays, then more delays, then more on top of that, and it drags on for ages, so he ends up serving real punishment before the trial has even started, simply by sitting inside a cell. And as a high-risk prisoner who can't associate with the other inmates, that means solitary confinement or conditions extremely close to it. So there's punishment coming here either way, guys. Last thing I want to say is that Tate is completely out of options now. If his lawyer somehow pulls off a miracle and he manages to wriggle out of extradition today, it still happens to him eventually, and there's nowhere left in the world for him to run to. Even Dubai, where he's got genuinely good connections, has been extraditing people like Daniel Kinahan, who carries far more weight and power than Tate ever has. So this is the point where Tate finally has to face these allegations in the UK and try to prove that he's innocent. And it's a lot of charges to answer, 59 of them. If you're new here, this is Creator Pulse. Drop a like, share this with someone following the case, and subscribe so you catch the next update.